Hey guys, it's Rianne, and today I'm going to be showing you my brush collection. A lot of you guys have been asking me lately what brushes I use, and to be completely honest, I couldn't give you a short answer to that because I use brushes from all different companies, all different brands. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all of the brushes I use and some of my favorite brushes. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give some recommendations for you guys who are looking into buying brushes but you're not sure which ones to start building your collection upon. So I'm going to tell you what I think about that at the very end. But first, let's start with eye brushes. Okay, so starting off with eye brushes, the first brush I'm going to show you is my only MAC brush, and that is the MAC 219 brush. It kind of has a really small pencil tip on it. You can use it in so many ways, the first of which being adding an outer V color or dragging a color along your lower lash line, a inner tear duct highlight color. You could use it to apply a highlight up here. You could use it to put a color into your crease. I mean, it's really a super versatile brush. If you're going to get a MAC brush, this is the one I would recommend. Of course, it's the only one I have, and that's because it's so versatile. I thought I should get this one, and I put a lot of thought into that because I wanted to get one to start my sort of MAC brush collection, and this is the one I knew I wanted for those reasons. The next brush I have is probably the first makeup brush for eyes that I ever had, and that is this Bare Minerals Color and Crease brush. On this side, you have this super dense shader brush. This is an awesome brush, especially because of the density, because I can pick up one color with like this side, and then I can pick up another color with this side, and then when you're blending you can kind of flip and blend the colors together really easily. And on this side is the fluffy blender brush, and you really can't have enough fluffy blender brushes in your brush collection. I kind of feel like I need another one because this one will be dirty and I want a new one often, but that's just me. And but I really do love this one. I really like this brush because it was 2-in-1. It was the first brush I ever got, and it served me really well for the time that I just had this brush. The next two brushes are from Smashbox Cosmetics, and they have this beautiful red body to them, which I think is pretty cool. This Smashbox brush is for the brow tech that I use, which is what I put on my brows. This is the Angle Brow Brush from Smashbox, and so yeah, that's basically what it's used for, is the brow tech, and that's all I use it for. It has pretty coarse bristles. I'm not really sure if they're synthetic or if they aren't. It's kind of funny that way. I would usually be able to tell, but I think they're synthetic. I'm not really sure, but it's a really nice brush if you're going to have the brow tech. This second brush from Smashbox is the Arched Liner Brush, and this actually came as a gift with purchase, and I'm really glad it did because I was looking into purchasing one before that. It really makes applying gel liner a lot easier than if you're using just a regular angled brush, in my opinion. But I really love this brush. It's really nice, it's really skinny as you can see, and it's great. The next brush I have is from Clinique, and it's actually the only brush that I have from Clinique, which kind of surprised me because I do love Clinique a lot. And this is just called the eyeliner brush. As you can see, it's kind of like a square with the bristles, and I don't really use this for eyeliner. First I used this to fill in my brows, and then I decided to use the brow tech brush because I got the brow tech from Smashbox, and now I use this to apply inner tear duct highlight. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. It's the perfect brush for that, so I really love this brush as well. Next two brushes are from Lancome. This brush actually came in a 3 set of brushes, like a set of 3. This is probably part of my first set of brushes that I ever got. And then this is one of the other 3, and then the other one was a foundation brush, but I didn't use that one, so I just gave it away because I have another foundation brush that I really like. But yes, this is a shader brush. It's really soft and fluffy, unlike my other shader brush, which is really dense, and I love this brush. The perfect part about it is that you can load up a color on it on the brush, and then you can go ahead and apply it, and then you can kind of use the tip to sort of really buff it out and blend the lines, which is awesome. So it's kind of like a 2 steps in 1 sort of brush without, I don't think it really knew it was a 2 steps in 1 sort of brush, but I really love this brush. The second Lancome brush that I have is actually another double-ended brush. One word of advice, in my opinion, I don't really love double-ended brushes. I mean, I live with them, but personally I would rather get one brush that has one side so I could store them all this way, but you know, you deal with what you can. I store my brushes this way now. I used to store them this way, but now I store them this way, so it's not really a huge deal. I just like to have all of my brushes facing the same way when they're out in front of me as well. But I'm just, you know, very crazy like that. So this brush has two sides to it. This side is an angled side. I love this side for putting eyeliner on, or really good for putting a color in your waterline if you wanted to put it over like a colored liner. That's awesome if you wanted to do that with a eyeshadow. And this just comes in handy all the time, I feel like, when I'm doing my eye makeup. I really like it. And then this is just kind of a shader brush. Obviously, as you can see, this is synthetic. I don't love this side. I don't. It reminds me a lot of the next brush, which I'm going to show you, which is an awesome segue, I suppose. I didn't even plan that. But the Urban Decay brush that came with the Naked palette. Yeah, I don't really love this side of the brush or this brush. I mean, this one is like maybe, I mean, it's a lot higher quality. This one is softer. This one does apply a little bit better. But I just don't love the way these brushes are. And I think they're both kind of made of almost the same thing, you know? But yes, they're very similar, and so yes, this is the Urban Decay brush that came with the eyeshadow palette. That is the Naked palette. The next two brushes I have, I actually am not sure what brand they are, but they also came in a pack of 3. This was sort of something that was a gift to me, so I'm not really sure where it's from. I'm pretty sure it may have been like a free gift with purchase from Clinique, or maybe it was just like a gift set from Clinique. I'm not really sure. But here's the first brush, and it's like, I guess it would be a shader brush. It would be fluffy. As you can see, it has this triangular effect going on because the bristles are really not all that high quality, and it's not really bound as well as it should be, you know. But I use this, you know, to place colors in my crease or apply shadow. It's not a bad brush, it's just not my first pick. And then this brush is an interesting brush. Sometimes I use this to apply a highlight, sometimes I use it to blend. It's kind of hard to work with though, because if you can see, I'll try to show you, it's pretty like large when you like put it next to your eye. Like, it's kind of a bigger brush, and it's a little bit harder to work with in that way. I don't love it, but you know, I deal with it. So the next brush is actually a little sponge brush. This actually came with a set from Borghese? I don't really know. It was a gift. This brush is very interesting. I used to use it to apply oh boy, apply shadow to my brows, you know, but now I have the Smashbox Brow Tech, like I've said like 4 times. I'm really sorry I keep bringing that up. But I do still love this brush for several reasons. You can use it if you put like a black liner on and then you took like a black eyeshadow and you smudged it out. It would look awesome. I've done it. I love it. I'm probably going to do a tutorial showing you how I do that. And then the other way, oh my goodness, I just dropped it. The other way that I use this is by, okay, if you ever get mascara on your lid, instead of, you know, if you miss your lashes a little bit and you have a little spot on your lid, what you can do is I take this brush and I just put it back into the shadow that I'm using, and I can use it to kind of cover up any mistakes that I make, and it works like a charm, and it's awesome. I love this brush a ton. Next brush that I have is a little bit of a quirky little wild card thrown in here, but it came with the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner that I have in the same packaging, so it's an eyeliner brush. But I keep it in here for a very different reason. If I'm going to apply false lashes, what I do is I put the glue on this brush and then I just kind of like apply it. I found that that's really easy, and then if the glue, you know, gets stuck in the bristles of this, I'm really not going to lose any sleep over it because it was like free with the packaging. So those were all of my eye brushes, but now let's go into the face brushes. The first face brush that I have is the Chanel foundation brush. This is the 16 brush. I don't know, this is a kind of an old brush. I actually got this as a hand-me-down brush for my mom, so the numbering may have changed, but I just basically use this to apply my foundation. I really love it. It's super soft. It was higher quality than the foundation brush I got with my Lancome 3-brush trio. And as you can see, it's like taking a beating. I don't know if you can actually see that, but there's like little dents in the bottom here and all on this side. It's like been around for a while. I don't know how long my mom had it before I decided she wasn't using it and I wanted to ask for it and she gave it to me. but I love this brush. I don't know if I'm going to ever get another foundation brush until this one falls apart. I'm not going to. The next brush that I have is the Lancome brush that came in that trio, and this is my blush brush that I use every day. I super love it because it's nice and fluffy, and you know, it's just a blush brush. You could probably find one at the drugstore for a lot less that does the exact same thing, but this just happens to be the one that I own, and I'm throwing things, sorry. My next face brush is actually this little one from Lancome. I'm actually 99% sure that this came with a gift with purchase, which is awesome because this brush is really high quality. The only problem I have with this brush is that it sheds on my face sometimes, which is, you know, not ideal, but it's an awesome brush. I use it to first take my translucent powder and I just like dust that all like in this general area, and then I take my bronzer and I apply it in the 3B method, and it works like a charm. I have never had a problem with like picking up bronzer and then it getting in my powder or anything like that. It does a really good job of dispensing as much product as you put on it at the time, and I love this brush. And then the last brush that I have in my collection is this one, which came with these other two eye brushes. It's not really the highest quality in the world. I'm pretty sure it's, you know, it's not really that soft either, but I do use this sometimes if I want to contour my cheeks. It's a really good brush for that because it's so, you know, thin. Well, not really thin, but like, you know, for a face brush, it's pretty small. So I use it for that. It does the job, so I like it. So if you are first starting out buying makeup brushes and you would like to know which ones I recommend to you, I do have a few recommendations that I would like to make. The first recommendation I would definitely say you would want if you're just beginning with makeup especially is this brush right here, or a brush like it, just a fluffier shader brush, and make sure you get it so it's kind of like tapered so you can use the edge here to blend, and you can use this to pack on color, because I think that's a really awesome quality about this brush. And if you can look and check at Lancome. If I find it online, I will link it in the information bar below. And if you can get this trio, I think that would really help you, because then you'd have an eyeshadow brush, a blush brush, and you would have a foundation brush all kind of in one big package. If you are looking for something a little bit more advanced, you want to buy a brush, you know, that will apply shadow and do the blending, but you want the blending and the shadow to be separated, obviously this is the brush that I would choose. This is the first brush I got, I'll say it again. This is an awesome brush. I still have it. I still love it. It's my go-to brush in pretty much every tutorial. I can't really say like anything else, you know, besides the fact that I love this brush, because I do. So if you check out Bare Minerals, see if they have this color and crease brush is what it's called, and it's awesome. If you're going to get a MAC brush, the brush that I do say you should get, I think I said this kind of at the beginning as well, but I'll restate it, is the MAC 219, only because it is so versatile. I would get this, but only if you already have like a good shader brush and a good blending brush, because those two things would really make, you know, your eyeshadow look. Maybe even a blending brush even more than a shader brush, but it depends on like what kind of looks you're going to wear. But this one will really give you that extra, like being able to drag the color onto your lower lash line, you know, outer V color, you know, all those kind of things you can do with this brush, and that's kind of what brings your makeup to the next level in my opinion. So that's probably the brush I would get. As far as what I keep my brushes in, I keep them in this little pouch that I got with the Borghese brush set, which is actually the first, maybe, oh yeah, so I take that back. That was the first set of brushes I ever got, and there were like maybe 20 to 25 brushes in that set, this being one of them. This is the only one I have left, because over the years, as I've kind of taught my friends stuff about makeup, they'll be like, oh, but I don't have this kind of brush in my, you know, my kit. And I'll be like, oh, well, here, take this one, because I'd have, you know, duplicates, and this is like the less expensive of the two. It really wasn't something that I was, you know, sad to part with. So I'd always just give them the brush that I would teach them things with. You know, I just gave them away. But I kept this one because this is the only brush I have like this. So that brings us to the very end of my brush collection, and I will talk to you guys next time. Oh, you know what? Can I just fix that right there for you? You got a little. You guys look fabulous.